Hello, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be making some coasters. I'm going to use the free floor sample tiles from Home Depot. You can find these right next to the flooring. I'm just going to take the sticker off. You can also use the coasters at Dollar Tree to do the same method. Or you can buy square ceramic tiles from Home Depot or Menards as well. Next, I'm just going to show you all of the supplies that I use. I did leave out one thing that you will see later in the video, which is the cutting mat that you can get from Dollar Tree so that you don't scratch the table when you're cutting. So you're going to need some of these foam sponge things on a stick and a paintbrush. You can get both of those from the Dollar Tree as well. Mod Podge. Sometimes you can get it from Dollar Tree or you can get it at Walmart or Amazon. Polycrylic, you can probably get it at Home Depot. I got mine from Walmart. You need the polycrylic to keep the coaster from getting messed up when it gets wet. Gonna need an X-Acto knife, which I also got from Walmart. And then these are the pictures that I printed out. I got these from Walgreens. This larger one was an 8x8, and then the 4 smaller ones were 4x4s. If you do decide to make this and you don't use the floor tiles, make sure you measure whatever you're going to use first so that you can get the correct picture size. I will leave in the description box below where I got these images from. So now I'm just going to set these aside, and I'm going to go ahead and wipe off all of the tiles because they have been sitting around my apartment for a little while. Alright, now that I've done all of that, I'm going to go ahead and get started. So I'm going to get some Mod Podge and a little foam brush, and I'm going to just put a really thin layer of Mod Podge over the tile. Now that I have the Mod Podge on there, I'm going to go ahead and select my first picture, and I'm just going to stick it on there and press it down and make sure it's stuck all the way on there all the way around. Sorry for the glare from the ring light. Alright, so now that I have the picture pressed down, I'm just checking to see if it's lined up to all of the edges. If you do decide to do this, just double check on this part or you'll end up with extra tile showing under it. Now I'm just putting Mod Podge on there, and I'm going to do 2 layers of this. So once I finish this coaster, I'm going to just go ahead and speed through the rest of them because it's going to be a very repetitive process. Then I will come back when something new is happening. Alright, so now we're going to move on to the 4 coasters that are going to make up one larger image. So I'm just placing it there, make sure it fits perfectly. Then I'm going to go ahead and repeat the same process with the Mod Podge. stick it on there. And then I'm going to go ahead and use my little cutting mat and use that to flip it over without sliding anything around. So now that I have it flipped over and I'm making sure that the picture is stuck to it, I just took the X-Acto knife and I went ahead and had to push these apart a little bit to fit the knife in there. But I just sliced through to cut the images, and then I'm going to flip it back over and make sure that all of the pictures are cut. Alright, so later on, after everything dried, I realized that after doing this part, I didn't readjust the images to make sure they were sitting on there correctly. So some of them were slightly off, but it's okay. Now I know for next time to just make sure I do that part. So now I'm just going to go ahead and repeat the same process that I did for the other 4 coasters. And I'm just going to go ahead and speed through this as well. Alright, so this is after the second layer of Mod Podge has dried. So I'm going to go ahead with the polycrylic and I'm just going to do 1 layer. The instructions do say that after the first layer dries, you can lightly sand it and then do a second layer, but I chose not to do that. Also, just want to add that if you do decide to do this, the polycrylic is way runnier than the Mod Podge, so just be careful not to put way too much on the brush or you'll just have a big mess. Alright, so this last coaster is like a little bonus. I just made one for myself. I'm using glitter. I got these first 2 glitters from Target, and then the 2 smaller glitters that I'm going to show you next, I got those from Walmart in a kit that I believe is like $10, and it comes with a bunch of different colors. So right now I'm just showing you, I have fine glitter, and then the other ones from Target are chunky. I like to mix both because I feel like it gives it a little bit more depth. And right here I'm just showing you my nails. I did use the same glitter to do my nails, just use gel polish and the glitter. If you would like to see how I do that, then just leave a comment below and I will be sure to do that for you guys. So right here I'm going to put the coaster on top of a envelope. You can use a piece of paper or something just to catch the excess glitter so I can reuse it. So I just started sprinkling the glitter on there after putting the Mod Podge. I put a little bit of a thicker layer of Mod Podge than I did for the pictures. Now after doing this process, I realized that it would be better if I mixed the glitter. So I'm just going to go ahead and show you how I did this part, and then I mixed the glitter together and went ahead and added a layer of Mod Podge. And then I'm going to add more glitter and then one final layer of Mod Podge. And then once I let that dry, then I did go ahead and add 1 layer of polycrylic to this coaster as well. Okay, so right here I'm just going to put the Mod Podge on after that first layer of glitter. If you do decide to do this, it's important that you dab the Mod Podge on instead of brushing it, or you're just going to wipe a lot of the glitter off, and you want to seal in the glitter. Alright, so after I sprinkled the glitter on evenly, I just poured some Mod Podge on the brush because I didn't want to dip my brush and get glitter back in the Mod Podge. And then I just went ahead and dabbed in the glitter with the Mod Podge. And then after I get everything pretty much covered, I kind of did a little bit of a swiping motion just to make sure that the glitter and the Mod Podge were evenly distributed so that the coaster didn't come out super bumpy. Alright, so this is how it looked, and then this is going to be the final layer after that dried with the polycrylic. Also, sorry that this part is so shaky. This part took a while to dry, so I came back and was just holding the camera instead of setting up the tripod just to get this part done really quick. Alright, so I'll let that one dry overnight, and this is how they all came out. Alright, so in this next clip, I'm just showing you that I did get the coaster wet and it was perfectly fine. Okay, and this is how the last one turned out. I don't feel like the camera does it justice. It's super sparkly and pretty in person. So I inserted a better picture here. I had so much fun doing this. If you enjoy watching this video, make sure you leave a comment down below, like, share, and subscribe.